If you would like to see how I did this look while telling a spooky story time or a collaboration with Makeup Addict, then just keep on watching. Hey everyone, it's Char from CHARS Fashion Nation. Today we have some stain on my face while I'm doing this collab with Makeup Addict, and today at the same time it is a spooky story time. Now, I always tell you that, because Christmas is upon us, that I will be doing actually a historical, the story of a historical thing that happened in 1881, the Ashland Massacre. So, before we get into that, I'm using the Christmas Nightmare palette for Xmas Nightmare palette from Curst Cosmetics, and which you guys know already. I will leave my affiliate code in the description box below, and leave you linked right here with Curst Cosmetics, and because I'm a behavior babe, also with Makeup Addict. This is a collab with her. So I already have my foundation done. So, and I wrote down the tragic story. I was going to do another one. I will tell you, I was going to do another one, but it got in that point of, like, it was that bad that I wouldn't be able to read it. So before we get started, I'm going to have a nice sip of Ginger Dead coffee by Death Wish Coffee. I didn't know how this coffee was going to taste. This actually, I don't normally do this. This is my third cup of coffee. It's that. It's like drinking a gingerbread cookie, but wanting to make something to dip in, and it's that. It's all that. So do I suggest it? Absolutely, and I will link them. So, to get started, we are going to use that, and I am also going to use some colors out of the spell book. I did some swatches yesterday out of this. Both of these compared to the cremated palette, the black in here, and some of the other colors. Curst Cosmetics actually beats out Jeffree Star. That's funny. So, do we have to go with the color of my shirt? No, we don't. We're going to slay this today. Anyway, so the story today is about the Ashland murder or massacre of 1881. And which color do I want to go with? Base coat after. So we will, I'm going to go with a brick tone today, and then we'll take some other colors into that. And you know I do clean my brushes, so whatever is dark on there, that's the color of the eyeshadow. Okay, so this the beginning of the story might seem a little weird, but the whole thing and why people did it, who knows? What's wrong with those kind of people? So it was on the night before Christmas Eve, and Fanny Gibson, her brother Robert, and their neighbor were all having a little festivity. Excuse me, little festivities. Excuse me, it's the coffee talking. At the Gibson home. You gotta remember, this is in the 1800s, right? This is before last century hit. So you realize that, like, we're not in last century, but we're not in the 1900s. We're now in the 2000s and crap. That back then, so many things were so different. Cars were just becoming a thing. Remember, I clean my brush in between. I always have something for that. So it's not like a lot of people were just able to just drive somewhere, because not everybody was doing that, right? So they're having their little festives, and these bricklayers, right? And I'm trying to read this without my glasses while doing a look. So, let me lay in. So we got that. This is what I did one time. I went like this. You know what, like this. Ooh, that's pretty. I just get. Now we'll kind of see. I'm not sure if I want that like army green tone with that green tone and brown. We will play with this and find out. Ooh, we might have to go with that. That might be around here. So, right? Which group, huh? Ooh, that would be pretty colored. Anyway, we're back to the Christmas stuff, right? So, they were all having a nice little gathering at the Gibson home when, because their friend Emma was with them, they were all murdered in the home, and then the home was set ablaze. Okay. Later on, the police back then actually did their job. I'm not saying the police today now. What color is here? We're gonna go with this green. We're gonna go a little festive today. So the house was set on fire, and of course back then they did not have what we do for these days, where like our fire departments today have better trucks than back in those days. Because why? Because we live in this century. So actually, that's kind of cool. Anyway, so the police back then, sheriff, actually, that would have been sheriff, had found that there was, bricklayer kind of bragging about, oh, I did this and nobody will ever. And you know what happens when you say nobody will ever? That's when you get caught. Anyway, so this guy named George, which is the bricklayer, right? He was initially charged in the case, and he had confessed. Like, okay, why are you going to confess? Like, straight up confess? Because he was taking two people down with him, fellow bricklayers. Now, nobody really knows why they did it, right? So his fellow bricklayers, William and Ellis, right? They're arrested. They don't try to dispute any of the charges or anything. Because, it's back then. It is what it is. You get charged with something, you're not necessarily gonna not be able to find evidence or whatever. So yes, I can look right up into there. And I like how that red turns out like that. So you could just pull that red up just a bit. So okay, since they don't have kind of resources back then, you know, they all confess. So, okay, they want to confess. But here's the thing. Ooh, I gotta clean now. Oh, holy crapness. Right. So, like I'm saying, you know, they don't have the resources back then to fingerprints and whatever. So you'd be thinking, okay, these dudes would dispute the charges. No. They actually confessed to doing this. Nobody really knows why. Nobody knows the whole story behind this. Did they envy them? We don't know this. I mean, they're bricklayers. Now, don't get that confused with Freemasons, because even though bricklayers are actually called Mason, they're not all necessarily Freemason. Yeah. Now we're going to line our eyes. This is the VA Bombshell. Got this. I got this in a subscription box, so I thought because of the color, kind of bronzy, like thinking, okay, this is a lip and eye crayon. I haven't used this for my lips, but it kind of goes the festivitas of Yuletide of such. I do have a lip color from Curst Cosmetics called Yuletide. I believe you've all seen that. Remember to keep your brush near you so you can just clean it up like that on the sides, just in case you just need to retouch something. So back to touching on this, right? Okay, so people in the town, they really love these people. Anyway, that's spooky. So, okay, we got that right there, we got there. Should we smoke this out in the house? Maybe. Like, those guys should have been smoked out. But like I said, they confessed to the crime. Now, William and Alice. Okay, let's get another sip here. William and Alice were sentenced to death by hanging in public. Now, do we know a lot of government people that need to be hung in public? I think we all do. I think we all do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into red again. What I'm going to do, we're just going to take that right there and bring it. You see that? That's kind of like this really like snatched in the house color. No, I can't do like a super bright light. It actually hurts my eyes, so bring you into the scary part of my eyes and then bring you back out. So anyway, they were convicted, and you know, eventually they were hung in public. And you know, like, there's only a few states left in America that actually does public hanging. Did you know that? Did you know that? Washington State used to be one of them. I don't know if they still do that anymore. But they did used to be one of those states that would do public hanging. Remember, you were doing some dirty, dark crime, your ass was gonna hang. Now, the one block that I did get, which is Craft, which is out of the Spellbook palette, And then I'm going to go in with Nightmare out of the Christmas Nightmare palette. Bring that in like that. Okay, and like I was saying, you know, she were hung in public. Now, what happened to the first guy, George, right? What happened to him? Like, you might be like, what happened to George? What did they do to him? Okay, so I'm going to tell you that. Like, see, look, this is why I keep this nearby. I can just go like that and clean it up. No problem. So, the public loved those people so much. They were waiting for him to get convicted. Be right back with that part. So now we're going to use the color Rain, which, now remember, people back then, they had all sorts of ways that if they wanted to do something to you, they would have access to do that. Now, if you want to know what a real lynch mob is, a real lynch mob, I'll tell you the historicals on this. A real lynch mob actually will break a person out of a jail cell, right? And they will lynch the person. Oh, I love these colors. Look at that red. Let me finish this lip like with this. And I have a special shout out for 2 of my followers, Nico and Cortez. 2 of my friend Janelle's children. They're old enough, trust me. But, yes, hey, have a spoopy-less day. And now we're going to use Yule as a lip topper. It's not sticky and I love that. So, see, like right there. I noticed that I missed a spot. All you have to do is go like that and you're good. I never got on my chin. I'm not worried about that. Anyway, so I have been using Yule. It's a shiny lip topper. I mean, look at that. I just love colors like that. And the red did not come off on the doe foot. So, anyway. What happened to George, right? Okay, remember how I was mentioning lynch mob? So, and how much they loved them, right? So the people in that town loved them so much, they organized a lynch mob. And I'm trying to think, what's the last color I want to use? I want to give this like a little pachow, you know what I mean? It's like, chow, right there. So I think I will go with the color Charm. It's rather charming. And it will actually go with this. So there's that. Okay, so a mob of citizens came along, right? And like I said, this is a real lynch mob. This is how they did this back in the day. That's right. If you were convicted of a crime back then, more than likely a lynch mob would come and get that person that committed the crime, right? And even confess to it. So, yeah. Oh, one thing that I do love doing this. If you like a light blue shade across your cheek, right here, that is so light, you can use that as a really light highlighter. And then what I like to do, if I'm going to contour and bronze, what I will do is I will go into this. Now you got to do this lightly, trust me. That is a strong brown tone. Absolutely, you have to just take it like right under your cheekbone because mine's high up, and then just blend that. Okay, so I know I have you hanging on a string. So what happened to George? Well, the tea on that. A mob of people, like I was saying, waited for George to get convicted, right? It's like, let the bitch get convicted and we're coming after his ass because he helped to kill some of our favorite people. They were letting him off on a lesser charge, even though he had more to do with it. Like, why? Right? Why? Which makes no freaking sense on why. So, they broke him out of his jail cell. Broke him out of his jail cell. And they were allowed to do this. Back then, sheriff would not get in the way. No, because most of the time, the lynch mob, even though the sheriff and a couple of his deputies would be present, and like, hey, the other deputies just happen to be off the clock. Even though you're on the clock 24/7. Gerard Cosmetics slay all day. Oh wait, does that go with this? Yes. So he lets this lynch mob break him out of the jail. Break George out. And they take him into the public square. Okay. And he's killed. They lynched him. Why? Like I said, that was their favorite people. So, and I'm actually sure that, like, souls like that probably linger around because they're like, oh, haha, we were going to get away with this, but you didn't get away with it. And then, how haunted is that area? I ate too much wheat this week already. But, I think about this. Why do people, like, in their mindset, even if they have money, if they don't have money, whatever it is, like, what is clinically wrong with their noggin? What's wrong? And that was for, them trying to have, like, their Christmas gathering. A lot of people can have their Christmas gathering because we give a shit. Be like that one color, fuck. We give a fuck right now. That's a whole other murder case I have for you. I gotta read up on something and then write it down. It's a declassified file that I will be able to read for you. Won't that be fun? I have now figured out which one is my dominant brow now, the Botox. It's no longer, oh wait, is it? It came back. Oh, did it? You guys know I've been having a muscle problem since I got my Botox shot. Oh, the muscle movement came back. Yes. happy about that. So anyway, think about this. Do you trust everybody in your town? Like, even historically, people cannot really trust people in their town because, like, it's weird how, like, through history, have some of these people been reincarnated to do dirty deeds like that again? We don't know this. So yeah, I want everybody to stay spooky. And I want you to go check out Makeup Addict. Like I said, check out my affiliate code for Curst Cosmetics because without them, I couldn't have slayed this look while telling you a spooky story. And try yourself some ginger jet coffee. Make your taste buds happy. And I will see you in the next one.